Our first story, CAR-T for non-active SPMS gets FDA RMAT designation. Last week we talked about obe-cel, a CAR-T cell therapy being tested in the UK's AUTO1 MS1 trial after the first patient in Sheffield received treatment. This was mainly a patient treatment milestone, but it was still far too early to know whether CAR-T had actually improved his MS. This week we have a different CAR-T program and a different kind of development. Caverna Therapeutics announced that the FDA has granted RMAT designation to its experimental CAR-T treatment, miv-cel autoleucel, also called miv-cel, or KYV-101, specifically for non-active secondary progressive MS. And this brings us back to a term we've been hearing a lot more often lately, PIRA, progression independent of relapse activity. PIRA describes disability worsens that happens outside of obvious relapse. It's part of the broader challenge of understanding why MS can continue progression even when traditional measures make the disease look relatively quiet. What's interesting is that we're now seeing different approaches aimed at the same problem. Some researchers are trying to detect and measure quieter progression. Others, like these CAR-T programs, are investigating whether deeper immune targeting can actually change some of the biology that may be contributing to it. Others, like these CAR-T programs, are investigating whether deeper immune targeting can actually change some of the biology that may be contributing to it. Now, an important distinction here. RMAT designation is not FDA approval. It means the FDA has received preliminary clinical evidence and demonstrated that the program qualifies for a more expedited development pathway. And there is some early human evidence here. Across a small Stanford and UCSF studies, 8 people with progressive MS had been treated by the 2026 ACT RMS update. Disability follow-up was available for 6. Of those 6, 5 improved on the EDSS disability scale, and 1 remained stable. Researchers have also detected de-engineered CAR-T cells in cerebrospinal fluid, showing that they can reach the central nervous system. That is encouraging. But 6 patients is nowhere near enough to conclude that CAR-T improves or reverses progressive MS. These are early phase open label studies without a placebo control, and CAR-T is an intensive treatment for potentially serious risk. So compared with last week, this isn't simply another CAR-T patient being treated. This is a separate CAR-T program that has now received meaningful FDA recognition, specifically for non-active SPMS based on early human data. Still experimental, still a long way from proven, but definitely worth watching.